ERS cooling issues. At the moment, we cannot fight with those cars.
Then also I stopped racing.
Listen, guys, before you say anything, I know what you're thinking. You're sitting there watching the races and something just feels off. Max looks frustrated, the car looks slow, and somewhere in the back of your mind, you're asking, is this really the same Max Verstappen who dominated Formula One for 4 straight years? And on top of that, there's a bigger question nobody's directly answering. Should Christian Horner have ever been let go in the first place? Today, we are going to talk about everything. Why the Orange Army is worried, why Max's head seems somewhere else, who is actually responsible for this mess, and most importantly, is there still real hope left for us? Because, trust me, the full picture is very different from what it looks like on the surface. Let's break it down. But before, hit that like button and subscribe if you want more F1 breakdowns.
The fear is real, but let's talk about it. If you've been watching this season, I completely understand why you're worried, and honestly, I feel it too. After just the first 2 race weekends, Red Bull has scored only 12 points total. Let that sink in for a second. 12 points. Australia gave us a P6 from Max, which for a 4-time world champion already feels like a punch to the stomach. And then China came along and gave us something even worse, a retirement. Max Verstappen retiring? That is not something we were used to seeing during those 4 dominant championship years. And when Toto Wolff, yes, the Mercedes boss, the rival, publicly came out and said that Max is currently in a horror show, you know the situation is genuinely serious. Because trust me, Toto Wolff does not hand out sympathy for free. So yeah, the frustration and the sadness that the Orange Army is feeling right now, it is completely valid. It is completely real. But here is exactly where it gets interesting, because this story is nowhere near finished yet. Max is still Max. Don't let the results fool you. Now here is something the Orange Army has been quietly whispering about, and I think it deserves a straight answer. A lot of fans feel like Max's heart is no longer fully in Formula One. They see him doing endurance races, they see him talking about Le Mans and other projects, and they start wondering, is he already mentally checking out? And honestly, I understand why it feels that way. But let me be very clear. Max Verstappen is still showing up every single race weekend and pushing that car to its absolute limit. In 2025, the moment Red Bull gave him even a half-decent upgrade, he won 6 out of the last 9 races. 6 wins! That is not a man who has mentally left the building. The endurance racing is just Max being a racer at heart. He loves driving, full stop. The problem is not his focus. The problem is that the car underneath him is simply not good enough right now. The Honda breakup, Red Bull's biggest mistake. Now here is where Red Bull really hurt themselves. And honestly, this one still stings. Honda, one of the most advanced engine manufacturers in Formula One, was ready to come back for the 2026 regulations. And these 2026 regulations are built around electrification, which is literally Honda's home ground. They are experts at this. But Red Bull had already moved on and signed with Ford to build their own power unit. And the result? Honda is now powering Aston Martin, the same Aston Martin that has Adrian Newey designing their car. Think about that for a second. Red Bull lost Honda, they lost Newey, and now both of them are working against them. That is not bad luck. That is a series of decisions that came back to bite them hard. Meekes and the 2026 car problem. So now let's talk about Laurent Meekes, because this is where things get really interesting. Meekes joined Red Bull mid-2025 as team principal, and he himself admitted that his contribution to the RB21, the 2025 car, was literally 0. He came in when the car was already built. But here is the key question. What happened with the 2026 car development? While Ferrari made a bold decision and completely stopped developing their 2025 car in April to focus entirely on 2026, Red Bull kept pushing development on their current car. And that decision has a cost. When your rivals are 6 months ahead in 2026 planning, you are going to feel it. And right now, Red Bull is absolutely feeling it. Christian Horner, the man who built it all, then lost it. You cannot talk about Red Bull's downfall without mentioning Christian Horner. After 20 years of building Red Bull into the most dominant team in modern Formula One,
Horner was let go mid-season in July 2025, and with him gone, the culture shifted. Senior engineers left. The internal structure that made Red Bull a winning machine started cracking. Horner himself said in an interview that something very precious was taken from him, something he never chose to leave. My personal opinion here, losing Horner the way they did, combined with losing Newey before that, was the moment Red Bull stopped being Red Bull. You can replace parts, but you cannot easily replace the people who built the entire winning formula. The April break, a hidden opportunity. Here is something that most people are completely sleeping on right now. April has no races. Bahrain and Saudi Arabia were removed from the calendar, which means Red Bull gets extra weeks back at their Milton Keynes factory. And Mekis has already confirmed that the team is pushing hard to fix the car's fundamental problems during this break, particularly the balance issues and the lack of grip that Max has been complaining about in every single interview. My opinion? If Red Bull uses this April break properly and comes back with even a 60–70% fix on that car, Max will immediately remind everyone why he is a 4-time world champion. The talent is there. The hunger is there. The April break is Red Bull's window, and they cannot afford to waste it. Hope is not dead. So let's bring it all together. The Orange Army is sad, and I get it. But Max Verstappen is not declining. He is driving a broken car built by a team that made 3 massive mistakes. They let Honda go, they lost Adrian Newey, and they focused on the wrong car at the wrong time. Christian Horner leaving only made things worse. But here is what I truly believe. Max Verstappen with a competitive car is still the most dangerous driver on this grid. No debate. And with the April break coming, Red Bull has a real chance to reset and come back fighting. The Orange Army should not give up, not yet. And that leaves me with one question for you. Do you think Red Bull can genuinely fix this car in time? Or has the damage already gone too far? Drop your answer in the comments because I want to know what the Orange Army really thinks. Let's talk.